But Brandon is here with us, and he's been here the whole podcast, and we're going to finish with him tonight. And kind of, we always try to finish the podcast with highlighting something cool and something special out of the ordinary that someone's doing in the world of iRacing or sim racing in general. And kind of focus on that. Let somebody tell the cool story about what they're doing and what they're working on. And so Brandon is hooked up with some guys that are doing some mods for Assetto Corsa. And great sim. We've already talked about the great physics in Assetto Corsa. The force feedback and the physics are second to none in Assetto Corsa. I wish iRacing would work out some deal with them to get a hold of their physics model and force feedback model and be able to put that in iRacing. But I don't think iRacing will ever do something like that. But anyway, so if you can't bring Assetto Corsa to iRacing, how about we take NASCAR to and oval racing to Assetto Corsa, right? That sounds logical to me, don't it, you, Brandon?
Oh yeah.
So that's what you've been doing.
Yes.
You've been doing that. So tell everybody what you're doing, and then I'll show them some pictures of the result of it.
So there was a period, probably a little over a year ago, I got aggravated with iRacing because we've all been in the slumps where you lose like 1,000 iRating in a week.
And safety,
you just a week. That's more like a day for me.
Yeah, I mean, it's aggravating. You get in every race, and somebody's overdriving the heck out of their car, makes a bad decision.
On a setup shop.
Yeah. So I downloaded Assetto Corsa to get a break, and I really enjoy the road side of Assetto Corsa. It's awesome. But then I started joining some groups on Facebook and Discord where people were talking about doing oval racing, and I was like, Assetto Corsa doesn't have oval racing. But if you know anything about Assetto Corsa, it was taken over by the modding community, and they took a sim that graphically was lackluster and have created everything under the sun for Assetto Corsa as mods, up to adding to this day, still doing custom shader packs and stuff that change the graphics and make it up to date. So I was like, let me research this, and I joined a group on Facebook called Assetto Corsa NASCAR mod, and there's like 5,000 people on it. And I started looking at the mods, and I was like, holy cow, these are iRacing quality mods. Like the mods that these guys are making car wise are especially like they're about to release the next gen, and they just released the Gander cars and the Xfinity cars, and they are fantastic. So one thing that Assetto Corsa was lacking, what I noticed, is Assetto Corsa is not meant for oval racing, so they have standing starts. If you've raced Assetto Corsa, I think you said you have, Mike. You know that.
Yeah.
It's a standing start. So I started researching. I'm like, how am I going to do oval races and make them fun? And I found this video online of a virtual safety car from like 5 years ago. And it flashes like yellow lights on the screen and says, caution or whatever. And then go, and it flashes green lights. And I'm like, that's cool. That can be used for live racing. But you couldn't find it anywhere. It was just gone. Like it dropped off the face of the internet. Well, I did digging for like a month and finally found the original modder who made that program out of Russia. And I reached out to him.
Out of Russia?
He was out like Russia or Czech Republic or something.
So they're making oval car stuff out of Eastern Europe.
No, he made this virtual safety car out of but I'm sitting there like, I've got to use this because we can use this for online oval races. So we have a pace car.
Oh, okay. I see. You're taking something you did for probably road racing and rolling starts, and you're going to convert it to oval. I got you.
Yes.
I got you. Yeah.
So I finally he's like, hey, have the code. We don't use it anymore. So I got a hold of this. Like, it was like finding the ark. It was like you couldn't find this thing anywhere, and I finally got it. So I got in a racing league called Ironman Racing League, and they did both road and oval. We started using it, and next thing I know, I'm like, man, these guys modding these cars started releasing short track stuff, and I love short tracks. Like that's my thing is short tracks. So they came out with a super late model, two different super late models, like an X Gen one, the last gen one, then Outlaw super late models, which are fantastic, Silver Crowns, all these different cars. But the problem was there wasn't a whole lot of short tracks. So I took it upon myself to learn how to 3D model. I am not a 3D modeler, but I learned how to
that's
do
something that's something everybody just wakes up and does one day. Hey, I want to
Yeah.
learn how to 3D model objects and then convert them into computer code. That's
So-
something people just wake up every day and decide that's what I want to do.
Yeah. So that's what I did. Like one thing I noticed about the oval tracks on Assetto Corsa was they would usually rip the track itself, the surface of the track from one of the NASCAR games, and then they put structures around the track where they're just generic structures for some of these tracks. So I was like, all right, well, I like short track racing. I can 3D model structures. I'm going to make these tracks accurate with the structures. So I downloaded a couple different things as far as how to build tracks on Assetto Corsa, and I started watching hours and hours of videos of races at short tracks that were not on iRacing, and looking at images and studying, what degree are the banking on these tracks and all that. And I started building these tracks, and my first tracks were absolutely horrendous. But they started getting better, and the next thing I know, there's a guy. His name is Edgar. He goes by 13X on Assetto Corsa. So anybody who might be listening to this who does oval racing in Assetto Corsa knows him because he's put out most of the NASCAR content track-wise. He and I have teamed up, and we're working together to build these tracks that are just they're as close to you as accurate as you can get without laser scanning them, and some of them are laser scanned.
Yeah, so as you're talking about it, I'm just going to throw some pictures up on the screen, and I saw some of the stuff that you sent me. Okay, and I just want to take a look at it. So I want to find first real quick. You guys did Charlotte Motor Speedway. Here's a picture of it, the Coke 600. So you were talking about some of them you tried to make as accurate as possible. Some was generic. So let's start with Charlotte Motor Speedway. Talk about that, like what went into building it, and just kind of walk me through some. I'll try to find the pictures as you're talking about them.
Sure. So Charlotte, Edgar and other guys did that one, and I'm not exactly sure what they did to that one, but it is.
Well, it looks amazing. Everybody should be able to see it right
awesome
now.
Quality. Yeah, it's fantastic. He did most of the shading and the 3D modeling, and I'm not sure what all the other guys did. But that's one track I sent you to show you the quality of what he does. I actually did not build that one. I only do short tracks. But it just shows your viewers, what is there available for Assetto Corsa. I mean, that's Charlotte. And look at that. That's fantastic.
The colors and the depth of that thing is amazing.
Yeah.
Oh yeah,
and remind you, everything you're looking at is free. You don't have to pay for any of it on Assetto Corsa. All these guys who build these things, including myself, build the cars, build the tracks. We donate our own time to build them.
Yeah, that's not the only Charlotte picture we have, Tracy. I'm throwing some more up there too. I mean, these are just really detailed shots of Charlotte. I like that car. It's on the screen right now too.
So the guy who built that, there's two guys who build the NASCARs. It's Darren Shearer and a guy named Chris, and they brought out a bunch of the old 70s NASCARs, Torinos, all kinds of stuff, and they're awesome.
I want to bring that back up, dude. I love that car right there. I love to go racing. I bet that handles a lot better than those NASCAR Legend car or the NASCAR Legend cars they put out there. Those things handle like junk. I bet this thing handles a lot better than those things do.
They're a blast to drive. And mind you, my graphics card is a 1060. Imagine that on a high end card that's pumping out way better graphics.
Hey, the 1060s aren't a bad card, man. I had one. In fact, I threw one of my kids' computer, and it still runs VR. He's got a Samsung Odyssey Plus headset on it up there, and it still does VR just fine. You just can't do the brand new VR headsets like you couldn't do you couldn't do the Reverb G2 probably on it, but but you can do, you can do the previous generation VR headsets
Yeah.
just fine on a 1060. So 1060s aren't they're really good workhorse cards. So I'm not knocking your 1060.
So if you want to go through some of the cars, we'll go over what's available for Assetto Corsa right now.
Well, you got a lot of late. I saw a lot of late model stuff. I'm assuming this is a late model inside of it, right?
So this is a Outlaw super late model.
Okay.
If I'm sure you guys are familiar with the Outlaw super late models are. If your viewers are not, they're really funky looking super late models that have a crazy body. But they're probably the most fun races to go watch in real life.
Oh, they're built for speed.
Oh, they're awesome.
Absolutely.
They look like a door wedge on wheels.
Right.
So what you're looking at there is that is the Outlaw super late model I'm driving, and that is Concord, which we made.
I think I've got it right here in one of these pictures too. Let me see if I can pull up Concord. It's hard to see them because they're so little here on my preview, but I'm looking for the.
There it is, right there to the right, to the right.
Yeah. Well, here's another one of Charlotte with the big screen down the back.
And what's cool about the Jumbotron is that Jumbotron is actually broadcasting stuff that's going on in the race.
Yeah, that's cool. So anyway, I was trying to find that one of Charlotte a little bit ago, but that kind of rounds out the 3 good picks of Charlotte. Here's the Concord one.
Okay, so that's Concord. That was the first track I released when I combined with Edgar from 13X. So what we do with when I make the structures and I lay the actual foundation of the racing surface, then he goes in and does the detail work. So with this one, what I do is I get a LiDAR image from Google of the racetrack and
that's Concord as well too, right there.
Yes, that's Concord. And I will lay the track surface, and the track surface does not look like that when I lay it. And I'll put just basics. I'll put structures in there. Like I built all those bleachers. I built that building in the background. Everything you see there that's a structure I created. He comes in later on and he adds the details like the fencing and the walls, the shaders, the racing surface. He'll change to a better looking surface. And then he'll add the people, the cars, elevation changes in the background for hills and stuff like that. And then he also converts it to where it's a night version. So the building itself lights up the interior. You can see some of the interior, and the track lights up with the lighting around the track. It's really cool.
Now, my buddy actually raced there. You were talking super late models. He had a NASCAR late model, which was similar to what your Outlaw late model was. And he would go down. He'd come from Akron, Ohio. I'm just south of Cleveland. And he would drive all the way down into NASCAR country and go run these tracks. Like he'd leave and get there on a Wednesday and stay till Sunday. So he would race like 5 nights a week. But he was actually at Concord. So it's funny you have it up there because I know the track.
That was one of my favorite tracks on iRacing. And it's so sad that it's gone. I love that track. Like the tracks that everybody hates, I love Concord.
I love it.
Yeah. You probably like the Irwindale figure 8 too.
I liked racing. I like racing the little 34 Coupe Advanced Legend cars and iRacing at Concord. That's fun there.
Concord is once you learn how to hit turn 2 correct.
Yeah.
It's
fun.
Awesome.
Yeah.
It's a triangle. But anyway.
Right.
So here's one of the cars Tracy was looking at. He wanted to.
Yeah, this is what I want to talk to you about. Now, this car here, is it a sprint car, asphalt sprint car, or is it the longer one, the Champ car?
So it's released by the guys as a Silver Crown, but they do not have the offset size tires in the back because they were having some issues getting the physics correct. So I would call it more of a sprint car, but and it's not nearly as big. I don't feel like it's as big as an actual.
That's one of them too, as well, right?
Yeah, and I did the skins on both those.
Yeah, see, iRacing iRacing hasn't updated theirs. They still have the old bodywork on theirs.
Yeah.
And that one drives okay, but for a guy like me that wants to drive an asphalt sprint car in sim racing, like iRacing, I think their offering is not really accurate. I mean, because it drives more like an off-on switch. There's
Mhm.
no traction, and I mean, you
Yep.
just absolutely smoke the tires. Now, there's
Yep.
some talented folks out there that can drive them in iRacing, and God love them. I mean, but I'm not one of them. And
Me
I
neither.
would rather take one of the new sprint cars. And we've done this before. Take the new dirt sprint car with a wingless and run it like at Milwaukee. Some guy had a pickup race like that, and that was way more fun.
I would love to run the asphalt sprint cars on iRacing or the Silver Crowns, but you know the old saying, drive. I think you even said it on one of your videos, drive like there's an egg under your throttle pedal.
Yeah, yeah.
You have to drive like there's a 12 pack of eggs, a dozen underneath your. I mean, they're so
Yes.
sensitive.
Yes, yep. That was my number one gripe, and I did everything I could to try to let it drive more realistic, overgear it, and nah, it's just not there.
Now this one's one of the more traditional late models, right? Or
So,
the more super
yes,
late model.
That's not the new generation one. That's the last generation. That one was released by a guy called Legion. I believe he's from Asia, and I love that car. It's fun to drive. The physics are great on it. And
now to me, that's more of the NASCAR late model, because I'm looking at the rear spoilers stood straight up. And to me, I think they used to call, or they might still do them, like a template body type car where you had to go through tech and it had to fit a certain way that, but this is more what I'm used to. This is what we used to work on.
Yep. Great car. Now that's the Outlaw late models.
The Outlaws. Yep.
That
the
is
rip line's lower.
Love the car.
Yeah,
absolutely love those cars.
And what's this one?
That track is Hickory.
Okay.
Yeah, I can tell by the bubble. If you go back, you can look at the windshield. It's more of a bubble type canopy or bubble type of windshield, because it actually wraps around.
Right.
So that is definitely an Outlaw. But those things are missiles, man. Unbelievable.
They're like so much fun.
Yeah, they're like go-karts on steroids.
Now this is my favorite one. I'd love to go drive these sometimes. The Torino, like these older 70s style cars. That's the Richard Petty car there. There's another shot of it. And this would be an interesting one if you guys had a whole race full of these things.
That's a 1993, right?
That's what I was going to say. Is that the 93?
They got the 90s. They've made all the 90s model NASCARs. They've made the early 2000s NASCAR, the mid 2000s Car of Tomorrow. They've released all of these. And they released old ones years back, and the physics were bad, but they're re-releasing them and with better shaders, better graphics, everything. And this is one that I was testing for them, and I love that car.
Well, that looks amazing, man. That looks like even better graphics than iRacing. I mean, you got better graphics, better physics, better force feedback. It's like I just wish they had the online community and the kind of online functionality iRacing had.
Yeah, I'm trying to bring that back. Like I'm trying to get people to, hey, give it a try. There is more out there than iRacing. Like when I got on iRacing, I had not raced Assetto Corsa or anything like that. And everybody's like, "Oh, iRacing's the best. Everything else sucks." That's just a video game. This is a sim. And then I actually tried Assetto Corsa. I was like, "Wow!" The literally, like you said, the first thing that I realized is, "Holy cow! The physics and the force feedback are amazing on this. Way better." And it felt like I was driving when the rear end would start sliding out, I could catch it like a real car. And I was like,
yes.
Wow.
Yep, absolutely.
Yep. So let's move. So what's this one's another one of those.
That's another late model.
This one.
Those are the new super late models that Darren released.
Okay. And what about these right here?
Those are
the Outlaws again, right?
Outlaws.
But look, even in that picture, that looks so pretty right there. That is a true image of, even if you find the real race shots, that's what they look like. They are just sweet looking race cars.
Oh yeah.
They're if you've never seen Outlaws, you've got to go watch them. They are just insanely cool.
Now this one with the Chevy front, is that an Outlaw too?
That's the super late model.
Super late model. All
yeah,
right,
probably a new version of it.
Yep, it's was it Gen 6?
Yeah, probably.
Yep. Well, man, I tell you what, that's a lot of cool stuff. And so, like, I guess the question, let me share my screen here and get back to people looking at us. Those cars are so much better to look at than we are, but that's okay. So if somebody wanted to, so let's say I'm on iRacing. I'm like, man, I'm just getting frustrated. I want to go chill out and race, try something new for a while.
I'd watch the Alien Factory for me.
Yeah, I would too. But they watch the Alien Factory. Tracy, they're here, and they say, "Man, this Alien Factory guys, they're pretty cool. This guest is awesome. How do we get hooked up with what he's doing?" So, Brandon, if somebody wanted to get hooked up and be part of your community and race these things with you, like, How would they go about doing that?
Okay, so the first thing that I would tell them is get on Facebook, join Assetto Corsa NASCAR Mod. That is the name of the group. There's about 4,000 to 5,000 people on it. You are there with not only the guys who want to race in the community, you're there with the guys who are developing all the content. And they take your suggestions. If you say, hey, I would like to see this kind of car, eventually you're going to see that kind of car. They're going to build it. Like right now, I don't even know what Darren and Chris are working on, but they're always building cool stuff. Once you get there, we're trying to build a community right now through Lone Star ESpeed that does like league races online. I have a server. That server is always set to oval content, and right now it's set to I think it's set to Hickory with the Outlaw Super Late models. They could go on there and run laps all day long, whatever they want, or reset, but there'll be nobody on there. What we're trying to do is set up like leagues because there's no system out there right now for oval content on Assetto Corsa like iRacing or SRS would be on Assetto Corsa. If they want to get into an established league that's been around for, say, I think they've been around for almost a decade, it would be Ironman Racing League. If you just Google that, I'm sure you'll find it. They run on Saturdays. I think it's Saturdays they run. No, it might be Fridays. Fridays they run oval. And every season they let the actual people who are racing decide what they're going to race for the next season. So they have a poll. Right now they're racing the Gander trucks. Last season we raced the super modifieds. If you guys know what those are. Mm-hmm. Those are the two ways to do it right now. I'm trying to build some way to have a system on my website dedicated to oval, like that'll track points, safety, all that kind of stuff, just like SRS, right at Lone Star ESpeed, so that there will always be a cycle of racing going on. We just got to build the people to come there and realize that there is other options out there. And like I said,
well, I just sent you a request. I just did the search on Facebook, and I just sent her a request to join the Facebook group.
To the NASCAR Facebook group? All right, let me get on there. I'm going to let you in. I'm one of the moderators. So I'm just
doing it right now before I forget.
All right. So
it's quick. They ask you two questions. They ask you like, why do you want to join us, and how'd you hear about us? I just copy and paste the same answer, and I said, that Brandon Roberts told me about it, and it sounds like fun.
All right. So I got Bobby on there too.
Hey, I'm in. It just popped up.
There you go. So I'm trying to build a system like that. The biggest thing is there are other options other than iRacing. I'm trying to develop a full AI system for pace laps, yellows, all that kind of stuff for whenever I'm able to launch something, but that takes a lot of time and a lot of effort. But the big thing is, if you can't afford iRacing, say you just have the base content, you can't buy any of the cars or anything like that, just download Assetto Corsa. Sometimes you can get it for like $10 on Steam.
And I think I sent Tracy, and he got it for less than 10 one time.
Yeah.
Because Tracy said, hey, he got burnt out on iRacing. He's like, hey, Mike, I know you've raced all these other sims before you came to iRacing. What did you buy? What do you got? And what do you recommend? And Tracy, one day we got you like 3 or 4 for less than $20.
Yeah.
We got you like R Factor 2,
Black Friday Corsa, or something, if I remember.
Project Cars 2. Yeah, it was the Black Friday Steam sale.
R Factor 2 and the original Assetto Corsa.
Yeah, so I think you got Project Cars too, didn't you?
Are you on the Facebook group right now?
Not now, but I will be. I mean, I'll check it out after this unless you want to show me something.
Okay, I was gonna say jump on there. You can see the next gen cars that they're working on, and they're also building these 55 coupes and 57 coupes, old style NASCAR cars right now. They're pretty cool. But yeah, it's just if you can't afford to buy all the content for iRacing, but you want to do stuff, Assetto Corsa is out there. The physics are fantastic, and almost everything is free. Literally, you can get all the NASCAR content you could ever dream of completely free. Where iRacing, you'd have to spend $1,000 to get it all, if not more.
Absolutely, yeah. Oh, but if not more, I'm part of the 20%, whatever the pieces is, how many pieces you had to buy, but I get like 20% off permanently now, which means I've just spent
Yeah.
ungodly amounts of money at iRacing.
Right.
Yeah, I think I have everything except for some of the. I didn't buy like 2 of the new ovals that just came out, and I don't have any of the rally stuff. So, well, I do
I
have
like
some.
the
I
rally
actually
stuff.
started running the rally stuff, the free stuff, and I actually really enjoy the rally. It's a lot of fun.
Yeah, when I
it
first
is
got on,
fun.
I was a collector. I loved all the cars. I loved all the tracks. And then some of the ridiculous stuff started coming back out. And I'll give you an example. If you remember back in the Papyrus days, they had a Coca-Cola Speedway, right? Which is now the iRacing Speedway, that 3-mile super speedway. And all that is just a rebranding of something they did in the past. They should have gave that to everybody, not sold it, but that's just my own opinion on that. But yeah, 3-mile high bank. That's just what we needed.
So, do you mind if I share my screen real quick?
No, go ahead. If I can let you.
It's your show, Brandon. Do whatever you want.
Yeah, you're finishing this out. Let me.
Ah, it
Oh,
says you
Brandon.
disabled me.
Hold on. Let me enable you. Just give me
That
one
would be a
second.
no.
Hold on.
This is the next gen cars they're
Wow.
developing
Oh,
right now.
those are
Holy
nice looking.
cow.
They're
That
about
looks
to
way
release
better
them.
than iRacing.
Hold on. Here's a video of I think this is Charlotte they're running. I don't know if you can see it or not. But, oh, it's Talladega
Oh wow.
and the next gen. So I'm trying to find the Ganders because they look really good. It blows my mind that I mean I do it too,
Look
so
at
I
that.
can't say it blows my mind. But these guys dedicate their own time to build these for these guys for free.
There it is. The Buick Regal. Is that what you're talking about?
Yep. So
Let me zoom in on that one a little bit here.
Now let me ask you this. All right. See if I can get extra credit here. Is that Ron Bouchard's Talladega winning car?
that I don't know.
You have to check on that because I think I remember that's his number and I believe that's the colors he ran. So I don't remember what year, but I think Ron Bouchard drove that to his first win at Talladega. It might be his only win at Talladega or only win. So, but I do remember that car. I remember those colors too.
Nice.
Well, it's almost similar to Mark Martin's back in the day.
Yep.
Hey, when I think about racing, that's just what I think about a Buick.
That's back when cars had actual bumpers that you could
Yes.
see.
Right.
Yeah, really.
Yep. Exactly.
No, Pontiac. That's the word. That was the ride.
Well, I'll tell you what, man. Brandon, I tell you what, we appreciate you having you
Hey,
on the
no
show
problem.
tonight, dude. It's
Yeah,
been a blast.
Brandon, thanks for having us on your show.
Yes,
Yeah.
yes.
Yeah. Enjoy having
I told you,
Brandon.
you give me a mic, I'm gonna talk.
Dude, it's after 1 a.m. This is our by far longest podcast ever, but we've had the highest amount of concurrent viewers. Guys have been loving it. We got a lot of questions in the chat. People have been participating, so we appreciate all you guys that have been participating in this podcast with us, the chat, and I hope I got everybody's questions and everything everybody was asking in the chat. We enjoy having all of you with us, viewing the podcast and spending this evening with us, not only talking about iRacing, talking about sim racing in general, looking at all this really cool stuff that Brandon and his guys that he's working with are doing over there in Assetto Corsa. You can pick up, Assetto Corsa we talked about came out in 2014, so you can go into Steam and during a sale and pick it up for probably less than $10. Normal price is probably less than 20 if it's not even on sale. And you can go get hooked up with his Facebook community. Brandon, again, what's that Facebook group that you would want to request membership to?
Assetto Corsa NASCAR mod.
Assetto Corsa NASCAR mod. You type that into your search on Facebook and go and when it has you pick what you want to search for, just pick group and it is the first thing that comes up. Has 4,400 members. Go ahead and join that and get
I'm
hooked
in
up with
there,
them.
Brandon.
Oh
Yeah,
yeah,
you guys get hooked up with that, and also check.
I'm seeing a bunch of people.
Yeah, you're getting a lot of people from this. So, and then also go check out LoneStarESpeedShop.com. And if you don't want to buy sets, but you want a little bit of setup help, Brandon has all kinds of sets up there that he races himself, puts up there for free for all of you guys. So go check that out as well. That is Lone Star espeedshop.com. And so we really appreciate him being here with us tonight. He's been a great guest to have. Yeah, maybe we'll have him back in the future sometime. As more stuff comes out and stuff that he wants to talk to you guys about. It's been a pleasure. Hey, I hope you enjoyed this short clip from our Alien Factory podcast. Be sure to check us out every Sunday night at 10 p.m. Eastern time here on our YouTube channel. That is youtube.com/Area 51 Alien Factory. Also, don't forget to hit that subscribe button if you have not subscribed yet. We really appreciate your subscription to the channel. Also, if you really want to help the channel out, the best thing you can do is share this video anywhere you can, on Facebook, on Twitter, Discord, anywhere that you can share the video. We'd appreciate it. That's really going to help our channel out. Also, get down to the bottom and you can check out the description below. There's some promo codes and affiliate links down there and different things down in the description. So don't forget to get on and check that out. And if you would like to get notified anytime that we go live with either our podcast, live streaming races, or when we upload any of our great on-demand content series here on the channel, just hit that bell icon down below and you will get notified anytime that new content comes up on the channel. We appreciate you sticking with us this video. And as always, we will see you in the next one.